Welcome to Andalusia, Spain's southernmost region, famous for Moorish architecture, historic cities, and dramatic landscapes.
Welcome to a very special episode of Mahoney Live. I live in southern Spain. I've been here for 30 years in the heart of Andalusia, and I've been lucky enough to experience the most amazing places, and the energy and spiritual influence has been a huge part of my life. This week I've got very special American friends of mine who just dropped in out of the blue, and what I'm doing is I'm taking them around Andalusia and I'm showing them some of my favorite places. So join us as we walk and talk and share the legends and mysteries of southern Andalusia. We're in Ronda, and this is one of Spain's hottest tourist spots. So you get Chinese and Japanese, you'll see people from all over the world coming here. It's about an hour from the coast, but this was one of the main routes that they used to go from the coast to Seville. Ronda itself, again, the Catholic influence in this part of Spain, because what they did was they tried to get rid of all of the Moors, all of the Arabic, all of the Islam. So what they did was they started building a lot of imposing religious buildings, and Ronda has a lot of small little churches. Now, what's interesting about this is what the Catholic Church puts on the front of these. So if you look at the facade here, yeah, you can see on the door straight away, why would they put these carvings of terrifying demonic images and something that's supposed to be of God? Look at the door, look at the brass door plates on there. It looks like the face of a demon. The gargoyles, if you have another word for it, free to use it. And the whole energy is just, you imagine being of a very poor background, scratching a living, goat farming, olive farming, which is really all they do here. The soil isn't super fertile here for fruits and vegetables. It's basically olives. So they build these imposing buildings to terrify the people. If you don't do what we say you're going to do, you're going to go to hell and boil forever in a terrible, horrible experience. These here, to me, look like the bowls of holy water you put your hand in to do the blessing. But it's not built on love. It's built on intimidation, and it's built on fear, as you can see. Because a lot of the churches in the States are new. They're about 100, 200 years old. It's a new country. But going back to ancient artifacts and architecture here, why would they decide, okay, here's the plan, this is what we're going to do. Now, on the front, I need gargoyles and terrifying things to really make people terrified of the church. You know, if you're trying to attract people, you would put nice things in, wouldn't you? But then we get into all of that, what churches really were. Were they ancient healing places where they used the frequencies? I mean, if you go to the St. Clair Church in Scotland, where you can decode all of it, because a lot of these, not so much in here, but a lot of churches have these symbols and shapes which have all been now proved to be coming from frequency, musical notes. So, bells. Yeah, they took all the bells away in just that before World War I, because the bells and the harmonics and the frequency, we all know, helps with healing. This small little tower, it's strange, it looks like a church tower, but these are watchtowers. You can see the small windows there, they were for archers. This goes back to a Moorish tower. We're going to see more of this today as we move around this part of Spain. And you can see it's a watchtower. So they had an alarm at the top, which would have been a bell or a fire. Usually they used to use fire to alarm people. And it's a singular building. It's just enough for maybe 1 or 2 men, just on the outskirts of the town. And you can see at the bottom, the original stonework is there. It's been added onto. This particular brickwork is Christian, but the bottom of it is Moorish. So it would originally been destroyed by the Catholics to take down the Moorish influence. But the base of it here, with the typical archway going over there, is very Moorish. So that's probably 1,000 years old, roughly, with an add-on, because you can see the difference in the bricks. So after it was destroyed by fire and they took it down, rebuilt and repurposed as a continuing watchtower. As we move around here, you'll see a lot of houses have something above the doorway, like a crest. There's a lot of family crests. And basically, there was a lot of families here that were influential in the olive oil trade, which is essential to ancient Rome and Greece. They used to use it for food as well as lamps. So this one has a cross on it, so this signifies that this was some sort of Catholic-based foundational home. But as we move around, you'll see several which are family crests and coats of arms, which signified exactly who the family was and what they were doing. There's 3 different crests above this one. I don't know who they're significant are, but it does tell us that this was a prominent family that held this building. And then straight across the street, there's another one. Old family money, this is mine, you stay away, I'm nobility and you're a peasant. This is the money shot, as they say in Ronda. We've got this ancient Roman, Phoenician, it's probably around 2,500 years old, this bridge. It's been rebuilt several times. There's spectacular views either side, but it's going to give you vertigo. There's usually a spot there that I can lean you right over, but they're doing construction on it. So what we're going to do is we're going to have a little walk, see where those people are standing, have a little walk, and then this side we got really amazing views, but this is why people come here. You'll feel this pulsing up as we go over this bridge now. So just take some time, get into your little Zen mode and just see what you get, yeah? You just take a little look here. You'll get vertigo, so be careful.
Contigo yo estaría. Contigo yo estaría. Ay, la persona más feliz del mundo. Te quieres pa' tu la vida. Ay, la persona más feliz del mundo. Te quieres pa' tu la.
How are you feeling about everything we've been looking at so far?
Incredible.
Well, overwhelmed, and I was actually feeling, I couldn't tell if it was grief or like it was so beautiful that I wanted to cry, but I felt a sense of grief over there.
That's really interesting, actually, because a lot of the times when you become overpowered with such beautiful and natural things, I get that as well.
Yeah.
So it's a very special place, Ronda, but there's a lot of mixed energies because you've got 6-7 cultural differences coming in from 2,000-3,000 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's very interesting what you're tuning into.
I really feel the layers.
Yeah.
The layers.
Yeah.
I wonder how many people died building this.
Oh, I'm sure hundreds.
Yeah, and especially on the other side, I could feel the density and the in between the first layer and the second layer.
Yeah.
It felt really dark.
All right.
But on top and from the aqueductos up, it felt light.
Yeah, it is a strange one because you get different waves coming over you of energies, and especially emotions. I get a lot of emotions: sadness, grief, happiness. It is a strange mixture. It's all coming at you like a baseball. The next little area, it's the oldest bullring in Spain. Now a museum, it's the oldest bullring in Spain. And when you actually go and see the old bullfighters' outfits, they were tiny little men. You know, they're always this flamboyant, macho, but the uniforms, you wouldn't get a 9-year-old kid in it. Very, very small. They do in certain areas. Some parts of Spain, the bullfighting's been banned. I went once. It's actually barbaric.
Yes,
I was horrified. Here are 2 statues and a plaque on the wall. Ernest Hemingway was a big fan of Ronda. And on the other side, Orson Welles, the famous film director. So one of the techniques I've picked up by spending time with spiritually enlightened people is what we call sweeping. So you'll often see me wandering around on a wide shot with my hands in this position. And what I tend to do is I tend to walk and sweep all of the negative, all of the repression, all of the depression, the sadness, and sweep it all in front of me, get it away, push it away. So in a lot of these areas that are ancient, when you travel around the world, you'll feel that energy. So try to find your own technique. Your sweeping method, or this sweeping method, works very well for me. Some people don't need it, they use the hands in front like this. Some people have different hand movements, but anybody that you see doing this sort of work will have a technique. And whatever technique works for you is the one that you should tune in and make it as strong as you possibly can. Let's go and have a chat with the guys and see how they're doing. See, I'm doing it now, pushing, 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 and see how everybody's feeling.
When you were talking earlier, I just everything felt so heavy that I wanted to curl up in a ball. And it's like this whole mix of like incredible beauty. But that feels, I don't know, do you feel like mud flood? Like that was
It feels like an entrance.
an entrance, like there was some more in there, like a whole society was covered up.
Yeah, that's what I
Well,
getting out of it.
if you think about how a monk would live, he was often living in solitude. He was denied of every basic luxury. He'd be sleeping on a wooden bed with some form of straw or hay as a mattress. He had only the basic things to survive. They would eat basic food. They didn't have any entertainment apart from their religious readings, and they were left in solitude and silence most of the time so they could be at one with their God.
I feel that there's something even more ancient there
Yes,
though than
I
before
feel that too.
Catholicism came. And I know the Moors were driven out like in 711, but
Yeah.
there's something.
Yes, I feel the same.
And I can feel different layers. Like it's real heavy down there, but as we get up, and that road leading out,
Yeah.
it's like emancipation.
Yeah, and you're getting around the corner to freedom. So behind me, we have the oldest bullring in Spain. It's now a museum, but they also use it for concerts here in Ronda. And the strange thing about bullfighting, I went once about 25 years ago, and it's horrendous what they do. They torture the animal, the crowd start applauding at the matador, the bullfighter's bravery, and they do terrible things like they cut the ears off the bull and throw it into the crowd. So most parts of Spain now, it's prohibited. There are certain towns and certain locations where they'll do it occasionally, but for the moment, it's pretty much banned and outlawed, which I think, as much as it's a tradition, it's not good to feed the crowd. It's a bit of a Roman circus, isn't it? The blood and the glory of the Colosseum was transferred into Spain with the bullfighting. And behind us now, they've utilized this beautiful ancient building into something positive where they do concerts and music, and a lot of the children will come here from the schools and they'll perform and show off what they've been learning. It's beautiful to watch. We've just seen a whole crowd of school children here that have been brought here to be taught about the heritage and history of where they live. And what makes me smile about this, I grew up in a terrible part of England, rough, but my former years I was in Ireland, it was beautiful. So people don't realize how blessed they are to be living in such a beautiful part of the world. And every day I give thanks to where I've been placed on my spiritual journey in such a beautiful, amazing part of Spain. So it's coffee time, and I think it's a great moment to pass the microphone around and for everybody to introduce themselves to the audience and share where you're from and what your name is, and I don't know, let's see how you feel. You can go first. This is Scott.
Yeah, Scott Stone of Truth Stream podcast. And what an amazing experience this is. I'm in love with Spain. And what better way to learn about Spain than with David? So thank you.
You're very welcome.
Yeah.
I get much more out of it than you do. You'd be surprised.
Really?
I'm Lisa Schermerhorn. I'm a hypnotherapist and a quantum healer, and I'm also in a movie called Zero Limits with Joe Vitale. So I was here in Marbella for the red carpet premiere, and doing some spiritual travel with my soul family, spiritual family, and very grateful to be here.
I'm Michelle Sciao from Colorado in the United States, and I'm traveling with my family, and the family is just getting bigger and bigger as we are traveling through the world. Here we are in Spain with a wonderful guide, David Mahoney, and I'm so honored to be here with him and just experiencing all the architecture, the history, and just all of the frequencies amongst all these beautiful people. Thank you.
I'm Joe Rosati, also from Truth Stream with Scott, and we started our trip in Ireland, and now we're here in Spain, and it's been an amazing journey so far, and just honored to be here with the Soul Tribe. So there we go. Carol, to you.
Hola, I'm Carol Maureen Friesen, and I'm here from Costa Rica. I'm Canadian, but living in Costa Rica. I have a retreat center called Heaven and Earth Sanctuary, and I've been teaching psychosomatic therapy for the last 25 years and teaching all about body language, face reading, And yeah, it's just wonderful to be here in Spain and experience the country in a new way, especially with an amazing guide that can show us around. And of course, being with our soul family. And yeah, I have a podcast called The Great Alignment on Rumble, and it's under the Lightworkers Institute.
So guys, there's something really special about coffee in Spain. I don't know what it is, whether it's the coffee, the water, the milk, but there's a very distinctive taste. You only get it in Spain. And I was recently driving through Europe. I drove from Germany into Austria, Switzerland, France, and then into Spain. And as soon as we got across the border, my friend said to me, he says, every time he drives across the border, the first thing he does, he gets a coffee in this gas station. And I was like, really? And I didn't really appreciate it until he said, the coffee is very distinctive. And I was like, you know what? He's right. Italy's probably the best country, even though the Brazilians or the Colombians will say, oh, we got the best coffee. Yeah, also, that's a great place for coffee. But it's not amazing, but it's just really a distinctive flavor. So 2 or 3 of these a day keep you on track.
But now it's time to move onto one of my favorite subjects, the glory of ancient Rome.
On top of a remote mountain here just outside Ronda, on the road to Seville, there's an ancient Roman city called Acinipo. And this is where we are right now. Now the background to this place is extremely interesting and kind of mind-blowing, because Julius Caesar fought the battle for Rome, originally in Rome, and it ended up in Greece. And he thought he defeated the other 2 people, 2 twins from Pompeii that were trying to take his throne. So having defeated them in Rome and Greece and Italy, he then left and came here to Spain. But what happened was the 2 twins raised more money and raised a second army and followed Julius Caesar to try and take the throne away from him. So in this Spanish remote mountaintop, a huge battle took place, and there was an estimated between 40 and 50,000 men were killed fighting for Julius Caesar here in Andalusia, thousands of miles away from the heart of the Roman Empire, obviously Rome. There was that many wounded soldiers that he couldn't return them all to Italy, because if they had a hand chopped off or a leg chopped off, they were immediately put into the pension being a legionnaire. So what he decided to do was, instead of rehousing them and putting more back into Rome, he built this settlement here, and he housed all of his wounded warriors and left them here in Spain. They started very well. They started growing grapes, they started farming cattle and pigs, and they thrived here for about 1,000 years before the city was devastated by an earthquake, as far as we can put together. But now we're standing in the remaining ruins of this ancient place, the amphitheater, and it's still a seriously impressive view today, 2,000 years later, just to see all of how these stones have stood the test of time through earthquakes and storms and battles and wars. It's still here in the glory of ancient Rome.
What do you think the last show they had here was?
I don't get the feeling that it was used in a negative way. They used to use the Colosseums for all the slaughter, just for entertaining, really, in the larger cities. This isn't a Colosseum. There's a difference between Colosseums and auditoriums. This, to me, is an entertainment.
Yeah.
Depending on what god it was, which month, Jupiter, Mars, they all had different gods in different months.
Wonder if the moon comes up a certain.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. You can guarantee that. What I find is fascinating, and I was just pointing it out, is on the theatre you can see where the steps are cut from this angle, yeah? Into the rock face.
Yeah.
And this, a lot of people think, oh, they built this. No, this was all hand carved out of the existing mountain, the entire seating arena. So guys, Acinipo is one of my favorite places. It's one of the places I come for a recharge, to recharge my spiritual batteries. What I'm going to ask you is what you're feeling. Tell me your feeling about this location.
What I'm feeling a lightness here, and it's almost like a freedom. But as we were walking up, way down below, it was a little bit heavier. But up here, it's light. It's like, well, we're entertainment.
On the top of the mountain.
And we're on the top of the mountain. We've got the fresh air. We've got the energy. We're close to Creator. It's a lightening. It's a lightening of all of our spirit.
That feel right with everybody?
Yeah, I have tingling, like my hands and my feet, my body just goes up.
I would say feeling honored to be part of the ancients, right?
Yes.
It's almost, you can see the energy, spirits that have walked this path.
You really can.
Built this place, right?
Yeah, you can see it.
Yeah.
It's welcoming. The feeling is welcoming.
Yes.
Right. Yeah, you feel the history and you feel all the souls who've been part of this, and look how much they put in to make this, and it's here. The amphitheaters of today are based on things like this.
The effort it took to carve these stone steps and building towers and monuments. It's
phenomenal.
Incredible, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, this is almost like their celebration place. You
Right.
know? I mean, for all the work they've done, as you said, all these piles of stone were at once houses and housed the people. But this was a place of celebration
And healing.
entertainment. Yeah.
And healing.
Well, the sound therapy for sure.
Yeah.
I get that healing energy from this.
Well, they were all came out of war.
Yeah.
And,
It's true.
And then they were given an opportunity for a second part of life. A lot of them would have been left to die.
Yeah. They married, they raised families and children and crops and cattle, and they thrived in such a remote location. It's incredible, the achievements.
The other thing that I feel in here is the acoustics.
Yeah.
Off the rocks, you're getting so much healing.
Yeah.
Right. And the angle, they put some thought into which way this faced and what they were looking at. It's incredible.
It's a real lightness.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to Acinipo for now. But the strange thing about this for me is every time I come here and every time I leave, I have a sadness that comes over me. Like in me leaving a family member behind, maybe. There's an ancient Roman energy here that seems to spark something in my ancient memory. There's something inside me linked to the Roman Empire and the energy that it represents that I just can't explain. So although I'm going to be sad leaving, I know that I'll be back soon enough.
Well, it's time to say goodbye to this beautiful Roman city on a remote Spanish mountain, because we're going to head out across the stunning Andalusian landscape to our next destination, an ancient Moorish castle and the secrets that it holds.